In this video, I'll talk about what to do in Cairns and Port Douglas, how to make the right decisions about Great Barrier Reef tours and the Daintree Rainforest activities. But selecting the tours is actually not the most important part of having the best possible holiday experience. Because what you really need to consider at the very beginning is to choose the right travel season and the best location around Cairns or Port Douglas. So let's get into it. So before planning your trip to Cairns and Port Douglas, you need to know that between December and March, the northern parts of Australia have their rainy and cyclone season. I would try to avoid this time of the year if possible. The best time to travel the northern and central Australian regions is between April and October. If your travel dates don't allow those months, be prepared for extreme humidity, plus much higher rainfall and a chance of a cyclone coming through. Also plan at least 3 nights in the Cairns and Port Douglas region. It's very much worth it. More to come soon. Now the second question I often get asked in my job as a travel designer. Where do we stay? In Cairns or in Port Douglas? Cairns Airport is the northern Queensland commercial hub with domestic and international flight arrivals. Port Douglas is located a good hour's drive north and has more of a village feel. Over the years I have stayed many times in the area and I personally prefer Port Douglas due to its relaxed vibe. There are no high-rise hotels or apartments either. Plus, the visitor numbers are much smaller. What I really find attractive is the close proximity to many key sites in the area. So let's assume you have decided to make Port Douglas your base. If you stay central in Port Douglas, you don't actually need a rental car. In fact, you can pretty much walk to most attractions, from your accommodation to the boat harbour to shops and to restaurants. So how do you get from Cairns Airport to Port Douglas? Easy. There are regular coaches and private transfers from the airport to Port Douglas. If you want to be more flexible, by all means get a rental car from Cairns Airport. See links to both options in the description box below. Also, while staying in Port Douglas, keep in mind that most tour operators will pick up guests from the hotels. One key site I really love in Port Douglas is the 4 Mile Beach. It's the perfect beach for swimming, walking and even biking. Here's a handy hint. If you're in Port Douglas on a Sunday, visit the Sunday market for its unique local crafts and products you won't find anywhere else. If you find this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button below to stay in touch for more helpful travel videos to come. Now let's talk about the key attractions and experiences in this area. There are 2 main ones. A, the Great Barrier Reef, and B, the Daintree Rainforest. Both of these have different tour options to consider, so let's check them out. Great Barrier Reef tours. The Great Barrier Reef is one of the world's most iconic natural wonders. The Cairns and Port Douglas area covers the northern part of the Great Barrier Reef. The reef is about 1,430 miles or 2,300 kilometers long. You can explore the Great Barrier Reef by sailing, snorkeling, scuba diving or by glass bottom boat tours. Operators like 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗃 or Reef Magic Cruises use Cairns or Port Douglas as departure points for the reef. How convenient is that? Though from Port Douglas, I recommend that you use the local operators called Sail Away for sailing and snorkeling combo tours. For diving and snorkel tours, I would suggest using 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗃, also a local operator in Port Douglas. Links to both of them see in the description box below. With Sail Away, you can take the trip into the inner reef area with a low isle tour or further out into the Mackay Coral Cay, which is located in the outer reef. If you are keen to dive, you will need to use 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗃 as their motor vessels have all the necessary equipment on board. Good to know they offer an intro diving tour, so if you're keen to give diving a go, then this one gives you a great taster with 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗃. For the full diving experience, you will need to bring your PADI certificate. I've personally gone on both tours with Calypso and 𝗟𝗟𝗃𝗍, and I can highly recommend both of them. If I had to make a hard choice between the two, I'd probably go for the 𝗟𝗟𝗃𝗍 Outer Reef Tour. The passenger numbers are smaller and the guides provide a great environmental information on board. By the way, 𝗟𝗟𝗃𝗍 has also a sunset sailing tour trip which starts from Port Douglas boat harbour. All tour details are linked in the description box below. For any questions, please feel free to use the comments field as well. Any of the Great Barrier Reef tours will take all day. Now, the second key attraction in the region is the Daintree Rainforest National Park. The Daintree Rainforest is the oldest on planet Earth. It's actually 180 million years old. Wow! It starts an hour's drive north of Port Douglas. Along the way, some tours will stop at Mosman Gorge and go on the Daintree River cruises, view the massive crocodiles up close. Personally, I'm not a great fan of the Mosman Creek in the peak season. It's incredibly busy. Some guided tours will go right up to 𝗀𝗶𝗹𝗃𝗍. I'll cover those tours shortly. For all these tours, I will mention you need to have comfortable walking shoes, insect repellent, a rain jacket, sun hat and sunglasses. Again, the best time to visit is between April and October. Even better is between May and September for drier conditions. As promised, here are some tours I can really recommend. The Billy T Safari's Daintree Rainforest Tour is perfect for nature lovers. You get to explore lush tropical landscapes, unique wildlife and a bit of cultural heritage in the far North Queensland region. Daintree Wanderer Private Tour. This tour is with a private guide, so you need to expect a higher price tag. The guides are highly experienced and knowledgeable. You can combine the Daintree Wanderer Tour with a local Aboriginal tour. Again, any Daintree Forest Tour will take one full day. So we have now covered the two key attractions most travelers would want to see during their stay in the Cairns Port Douglas area. So at least 3 nights are required to really make this all work. Though you could easily spend a week or 10 days in the region, there is lots to see and to do. Let's go through my personal recommendations. Be prepared for quite a list, which is by far not complete, as there are so many of those. I will put in a link to the Northern Queensland tourism site into the box below so you can check out for more details. Again, you can download my free travel planning sheet as well. This will help you greatly with setting up your holiday. Here's a short list of additional tours I can recommend. The 𝗟𝗟𝗃𝗍 Outback Tour. If you're keen to explore the Australian outback at the same time as the Great Barrier Reef area, the one-day 𝗟𝗟𝗃𝗍 Outback Tour is a good one. Not many people know about it. I've done it and I really like the unique blend of natural beauty, cultural history and geological wonders. You get an authentic taste of life in the rugged Australian outback. Another goodie is the wildlife habitat Port Douglas. This place is located just outside Port Douglas. It can easily be incorporated into your day of arrival in Port Douglas as long as you arrive in the early afternoon. You will see a diverse array of iconic animals including kangaroos, koalas, cassowaries, crocodiles and colorful tropical birds. I really like the park and the dedicated people running it. If you're looking for an overall Australian itinerary, check out the playlist link in the description box below. Now some other tours in the Cairns Port Douglas area. The Sky Rail Rainforest Cableway. If you want to head into the Kuranda Hills, which is located between Cairns and Port Douglas, I would recommend using the Sky Rail. You can drive to Kuranda, but the road is very winding with often quite a bit of heavy traffic. The Kuranda village offers markets, galleries and wildlife attractions. Once in the village, you simply must visit the Butterfly Sanctuary. It's such a lovely spot. Join a guided tour to learn more about these exotic and colorful creatures. At the Kuranda village, you can also take a ride on the Kuranda Scenic Railway. As a handy tip, combine the train and the cableway for a full experience. Book the tickets in advance during the peak season. Atherton Tablelands. This is a highland region with stunning waterfalls, crater lakes and rolling farmland. There are tours available from Cairns or Port Douglas. Between Cairns and Port Douglas is also Hartley's crocodile farm. Personally, I found this very interesting but too busy. My recommendation is to experience the crocodiles with the Daintree Forest Tour in their natural environment with a Daintree River cruise. An Aboriginal cultural tour can also be done as a half-day or full-day experience. It is also available from Cairns or Port Douglas. Other tours I can recommend is fishing tour with hookup charters from Port Douglas, a helicopter tour with Nautilus Aviation, or a zip line with 𝗥𝗲𝗄𝗍𝗃, which is located between Cairns and Port Douglas. Check out all the tour and planning links in the description box below. See you in the next video.